Hi guys, welcome to my stream. Let me remind you what I'm doing. I'm doing React coding live. React, this is a front-end framework which is hugely popular now. So I am using TypeScript for this. Another option, you can use JavaScript, which is TypeScript is the typed version of JavaScript, so it's more like the same thing. So if you want to know the background, I suggest you watch previous broadcasts. Oops, this one is. For now, let me show you what we have currently. So this is the app which we are having now. Okay, I have so many things open which I shouldn't have. This is a video editor. I'm sorry. This shouldn't be happening. I should have closed it before. Okay. Anyway, so the idea was to make a text encryption app like many you see online, where you can input some text, select what you want to do with this. For example, you want to encrypt this using AES algorithm, which is the most standard encryption algorithm you can think of. Okay, and see the result here. You can also select different encoding. For example, we can see this in hex or in base 64. We might add base 32, for example, later on. It doesn't matter much which encoding we're showing. In only text doesn't make sense, of course, because it's trying to parse it as UTF-8, but this is binary, it's not UTF-8, so that's why we see these weird characters. Okay. Now let me think what I'm going to do today. I think there were some issues with multiple transforms which I wanted to check out. Let me go to Trello Board. I have a Trello board with the list of tickets for my app. Once I complete the development, by the way, I will deploy it on production somewhere. I will buy a hosting for this. And this would be a good time to learn some CEO, because I don't know any CEO. And then we will be able to see it in Google search, hopefully. Okay, for now, let me check which tickets. When the user changes any options such as key in the AES encrypt transform element, the text in the output panel text area should change to reflect in the change in the text transform. By the way, today I didn't properly create broadcast, which I usually do. I usually create it the previous day or in the morning or the next day, but today I forgot to do this. But you can remember that almost daily I'm doing these broadcasts at 5 p.m. UTC. So tune in. Okay, now let me, so ticket 25. Basically, this thing tells us if we change some of the options, for example, key, then we should see output text too. I think we could add a test like this, right? It's not hard. So for testing, we're using Cypress. Let me remind you, here is Cypress. What it does, you click, you see the you see tests, you see how nice tests look. I actually enjoy watching Cypress tests. Sometimes I just click play tests and I just sit doing nothing, just watch Cypress tests. they are so good, in my opinion. Okay, so here we have our Cypress tests. Where do we have them? Inside Cypress slash integration slash text transformer test. Here we have the spec. And let's set here 0.25, which is not completed yet. So that's how we add a new test in Cypress, and not only in Cypress, in almost any testing framework you see pretty much the same thing. You use it to define test. Okay, again I forgot to turn off VPN. No, I did not forget to turn off VPN, it's turned off. Somehow it's telling me YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. I hope you don't experience buffering. YouTube isn't receiving enough video to maintain smooth filtering. Do you experience any buffering? I hope not. Anyway, so we add test 25. When the user changes any option, such as the key AES encrypt transform element, the text in the output panel text array should change too. So let us change to AES encrypt. First, we select AES encrypt option. Then then we want to change some option, for example key, right? So I want key input. Let me check where this key input is. We can use TRS options key, I think. This input. I am not sure. Let me try to open the video because I'm not sure if it's streaming correctly right now. Okay, somehow I see two live. Oh no, this is the same. It's just it's shown twice. Okay. I think there is no buffering. It seems to be fine for me. Anyway, TRS transforms panel. So inside this key, we will change it to something else. We change it to some other key, but this should be a proper base64 key, right? How do we make it? We can use crypto random bytes. We can write a Cypress node plugin for that. generate random key, or better, get random bytes length. So we will just return new bytes in base 64. Return byte buffer. No, crypto, I think. Get random bytes, I think it should be, and length. And then to string base 64. So here we can get it new key, right? Const new key equals, I think I'll have to use a promise here. I don't know any other way of getting actual values in Cypress. That's the only thing I don't like about Cypress. I think it could have been smoother. CY task. Our task name is get random bytes. And we provided length 16. And then we resolve the result. Okay. So now we clear old key, and then we type new key. We can just chain them. Type new key. Right? We also need old output. Old output. Again, we can get it with a promise. CY get TRS. Yeah, I think we can get it like this. Invoke val. Then we do resolve, call resolve on the text. Okay, so we generated new key. Then we also got old input, which is in the output panel. And what do we want now? Now we want this TRS EAS options key should not have value. No, not this. Now we are checking the output. This selector will select this element, output text area. So we are checking that this text area, we are saying basically this text area should not have old value. So old output should change, right? So that's why it should not have old value. So let us check this test now. What's happened here? It looks CY task. Something wrong with CY task. Get random bytes. I think this is correct. This was correct, right? So let me look. What's the issue here? Rejection. CY task failed due to the following error. Crypto is not defined. Okay, crypto is not defined. I did not think it's possible. I thought it is defined somewhere. Yeah, it's defined here. Okay. What about now? Still something's wrong. Get random bytes is not a function. Okay. I think this might be different. Let me check node crypto API. Okay, there is get random. No, not get random. I'm looking for this method which returns you random bytes. It's just random bytes without get. Yeah, just random bytes. But it should have been get random bytes, because normally functions should be verbs. Function names should be verbs, not nouns. That's kind of what I like. Okay. Okay, so basically it works. That's what it's saying. Okay, so let's proceed to the next spec. So point 25, we move to done. Let's check point 23. When the user removes any transform element from the transforms panel, the text in the output panel text area should change to reflecting the change in text transformation. Okay, we might have multiple transforms here. And when we add transform or remove transform, then text should change, right? That's what I think. What if I delete it? I wonder that I still see something, because we don't have any. This text shouldn't even be editable, right? Why do I see anything when I remove everything? Well, yeah, because we just see the output, or the input in this case. Okay. Anyway, one is the when you let me first do 24. When the user adds any transform element to the transforms panel, the text in the output panel text area should change to reflecting the change in text transformation. Basically, when we add another transform here, and provided we set it to something else, then text should change. I will rephrase this because this is not clear. When the user adds a transform element to the transforms panel and then sets it to AES decrypt. No, when the user sets first transform element to AES encrypt and then adds another transform element to the transforms panel, then sets this to the AES decrypt and there's same key and IV values. The text in the output text panel, same options, so let's say same options. The text in the output panel text area should change, should be equal to the text in the input area. I will explain it. So the point of this spec is to check if multiple transforms actually work. What it says, if we get one transform set to encrypt and the other set to decrypt, we should see the input here, right? Because if you first encrypt this text and then you decrypt same text, then eventually you will get same text, of course, right? So let's implement a test for this. Let's write a test for this. I tremendously like Cypress because it's very easy to write tests here. So we should set first element to AES encrypt. When the user sets first transform element to AES encrypt, that's what we do here. We set it to AES encrypt. Then we want to add another transform. To do this, we need to click the button. This button we need to click. Blah blah blah, but I kinda don't like the way they are trying to tell me to select this button. I think there is a better selector for this button. Some people actually use Cypress browser, which is actually a form of Chrome, of course, as the development browser also. So I think I could try doing this too. I do not really do this usually. So this button, which classes do we have here? I think this is the correct class, TRS, which starts with TRS are my classes. TRS add transform button. In snake case, I can select it properly. What the hell? TRS add transform button. So we want to get it, this selector, and we want to click this button. Now another transform element should be selected, right? Transform element is this thing, this window called a transform element. I call it a transform element. TRS transforms element. It's actually transforms element. I can select it. What is this? What the fuck? Okay, now I got it. So we would expect to have two of these now, right? Because we created another transforms element. So now we have two. I don't know, its length should equal. So there should be two of them. I will set this test to only for now. Yeah, let me a little move this screen because it's standing too sideways, the camera. I mean, I have two monitors. One is the laptop, which you see, and the other monitor is the one where I'm actually programming. So that's why you see me somehow sideways. That's the system now. So it dot only when the user sets first. Okay, so now we have two transforms. Now I would like to set second transforms panel, type to AS decrypt. So how we can do that? So this will select both of them. So this selector, they have the same class, so both of them should be there. I think new panel should have index 2. So I mean index 1, because it's the second element. First element will have index 0. So the second element will have index 2. So now find, I think I could use find and TRS transforms element select. Oh god, no, not this one. TRS transforms element, because panel is the whole transforms panel. It's only one here. Find select and select here ES decrypt. Hopefully this will work. Now that it is selected, well, first of all, let's see how this part is working for now. Oh, it's working, you see. We are setting this to encrypt, this to decrypt. We have an issue, of course, because we don't input any key or IV, so it can't decrypt, right? So now we need to enter key from here and IV from here. So to do that, we first need to get these key and IV. There was a test where I already got key and IV. So I think I could do this before setting. I can do this here. Yeah, so now I will enter this key and IV. What's happening? This is the wrong test. I need 24. Yes. So we got these key and IV, but I want to do this before I create a new transforms component, because if I do this after, then this selector will not work, because this will already select multiple elements. So I want to get key and IV before creating the new transforms element. Now I need to set this to async, this function. It's not usually a good idea to have such long lines, but let me actually make everything even bigger, so that if you watch it on mobile it looks better. I always forget to do that, sorry. Select U1, find select AS decrypt. Now I want to input this text into these elements. Let me show you. Into these key and IV elements, right? I think I don't need this, I can use just Cypress browser. Let's try to do that. Just these elements. Into these elements I need to input them. So the same elements from which I got them, but I got them from first transform element. I need to insert it into the second transform element. So I think we could get key like this, EQ1, and then find. Find will search for descendants of this item. So this second element we first select, and then we search for its descendant with the following selector. Find right? We find the input and we type our key. Same thing we do with IV, pretty much same thing. The only difference will be in this class name. We will want IV here and IV here. Okay. Now we want the old outputs to compare the new outputs to. We want the old outputs too, right? So immediately after changing to AES encrypt, we will get old output. And now we can compare new output to old output. Should not have a value old output. I think this should be fine. Let's see. No, it was already running when I started. TRS encrypt key input. Why? Oh, actually, we did not change this to AES decrypt. Or what happened? Okay, this happens. I don't know what happened last time. If you hover any previous step in Cypress tests, you will see what actually happened at that step. So I was hovering some older state and I did not understand what was happening, but actually everything is fine up to this point where we try to check the value. You see, we get an invalid CU type, so something is not working. Although we have this key and IV here, they're both the same. We have same algorithm, same key length. I don't know what's wrong, so we need to check. This is probably something wrong in the reducer. So our encode thing is what actually does all transforms, right? This encode function is called with, let me close just all other windows, because all other tabs, because there were too many. So this encode function, what it does, it gets input encoding and list of transforms and applies transform to each of them. All right, let's look at the decrypt encoder transform options, please. I think this data is not there. This is the point. When we create AES decrypt, we do not really set this data, the default data. Yeah, you see, when we create AES encrypt element, we set some default data, while in AES encrypt we don't. I think this might be the reason. I will just copy this and check. What options is used before being assigned? I'm not sure what's it saying. I'm pretty sure that it did not update properly. Let's try again. Yes, it did not update properly. Let me try this test again. What happened? No, this was not because I was hovering something. This is very weird. This did not happen before. Somehow AS decrypt was selected, but decrypt options did not appear. That's what I find strange. Let me try it again. Yeah, now you see it's appearing. But still I'm getting the same invalid suit type. Invalid suit type. Let me try to log. Does it set, is it set correctly? Yeah. I still didn't implement proper logger. This is one thing I haven't done, which I should have done. Somehow I'm not feeling like doing this today. Let's see algorithm. It shouldn't have typed it, it should have actually just pasted it, I think. AS in defined undefined. I don't get it. They do set bits here, right? So bits and variation. I said bits, both bits and variation, right? Maybe I should set it first, but actually, why would it matter? Again, I'm not sure why this happens. I hope this happens only in the test. Okay, now IV is empty now. Why is AV empty though? There are warnings related to uncontrolled component which I need to check. Bits variation. But test still failing. Actually, that one didn't fail. But we can't find the input, right? I don't get it. Let me try in the browser. Here it should change to text. So actually it's working from what I can see. Why Why Cypress test is not working though? I can't completely understand this. So output is still different because encoding did not change. So one thing we should do is that if we have AES decrypt, it should change encoding to base 64. I will add a spec for this too. I'm not sure what should be the number now because I don't remember what was the last point. 31 I think is the biggest. 31 is the biggest. So let's make this one 32. Point 32 will be related to setting default encoding for AES decrypt. When the user selects AES decrypt as the last transform element as the type of the last transform element. So when the user selects AES decrypt at the type encoding Dropdown value of the output panel should change to text. This is the interesting part because I think there is no way of checking this currently. Let me see. So why is it not opening? Okay. Transport element dropdown, encoding dropdown. So this encoding dropdown, we might set some class name depending on the value. Yeah, I think that's the only way. Well, yeah, value TRS val, and here the value props value. Basically, that's what I would say set. Let's go back to our Cypress tests and add another test 30 something. $32. So you can just immediately set this to AES decrypt and then check value of the dropdown. Output panel. I think I can just do this CY get TRS output panel. Encoding dropdown. We'll have here TRS encoding dropdown. So TRS encoding dropdown and no, I think this should be here. Inside the R. I'm not sure. Okay, I think it can be here. TRS val UTF-8 should exist. By default, it should be. I'm not sure what should it be by default. Yeah, but what I did I just said. I got it. Let me select this actually to AES encrypt, because AES encrypt will change the default output to base64, and then add a new panel. How do I add a new panel? I click the button, this button. I click the new button and I'm check and I set the second transform element EQ1. I set this select here. It will have only one select. I set this select to value AES decrypt, and then I expect encoding to be text. Let me try this. I will do this the only test. We'll make this the only test. I mean, what are you saying? Select, we haven't found select. This is not possible. Find select AES decrypt. What I typed should instead of select. We actually don't even see anything here. So this should only happen after we enter some key. Right, so this test becomes very much like the one we had before, where we got key and IV. Yeah, I think somehow we should have united those both texts, those both tests. Key, IV. We get them and enter it there, right? What was the number of the tests? This second spec I'm doing 24, right? I will just take this from 24. So again, I got key and IV. From first element, then I select AES decrypt. Then I type key and IV into the new elements, and then I expect this value to be UTF-8. Why, by the way, I'm doing it like this? I think I can check it actually. I think it's possible to check it. TRS encoding dropdown. Dropdown, there will be a select. Have value UTF-8. So this should be working actually. Expected 1 to be 2. Where? Its length should equal to, okay. Yeah, I did not click the button. Where is that button? Okay, what now? Again, somehow I selected AES decrypt, but AES decrypt options did not appear here. Got invalid AV length somehow. First of all, where am I typing this? Instead of typing this, can't I paste it? Paste maybe. Insert maybe. No, only type works here. Okay, now somehow it worked correctly, but it's showing base 64 here still. So that's what we need to change now inside our index.tsx, inside our reducer. Where do I set it? I think I had something for this, right? Transform preferences or something. Yes, here. Output encoding equals transfer default encoding. First of all, I think this encoding should happen after every change. So we shouldn't tie it to any specific event type. I will just do it after every change. This basically that's what's I think happening now. No, that's not happening. I think it would be great if I just removed it from here. I'm removing it from here, and I'm adding this here. I need the last transform first of all. New state transforms, new state transforms length -1. So this will be the last transform. We get default encoding of the last transform, then we do the encoding. Let me try running this again. I wonder how this happens. I think there is an issue in the typing itself, in the typings themselves. I think it should have been like this. Yeah, I think it won't work like this. Point is, I can't use transform type to index this, but also I can't use string. Can't be used to index type. So I can just make this any, because I'm not going to fix this right now. I'm not sure. I think there is some typing issue. I think I won't know what this typing issue is, but I'm not going to define it now. So let's just keep to the plan. Okay, let me start Cypress. So okay, is decrypt. Okay, no, IV not entered now this time. Why is this happening? I don't understand actually. Why? It hasn't found it or what? Unhandled rejection, Cypress error, timeout, retry and see why type failed because this element is not visible. Yeah, but it's can say that it's not visible. What if I do force true? Force true. Let me try this option. Oops. Force true. Okay. We got this change to text, and we actually already 32 and 24 now should succeed too, I think. Okay, something happened with test 22. So this 22, it says when the user clicks the encoding selection drop-down in the output area, resulting text should be transformed to the given encoding. Just trying to understand what's happening with 22. Let me change it to 22, to only 22, first of all. It should select here base 64 and say see this change. But this doesn't happen. That's the point. What time is it now? It's 9 p.m. for me. So it's been 1 hour already. Let me try and fix this issue first. How did it happen? So what now happens, I will show you so you understand better. See, I'm setting AES encrypt. No. Here, for example, I select text, hex. I can select neither text nor hex, which shouldn't be the case actually. Yeah, default encoding, it should only set when you change transform type or when you add a transform. So it shouldn't be here. Oh, so when you change transform type, then we can do this, I think. Here immediately we can do this. If last transform changed, if last transform ID equals transform which changed, then we can do this. Otherwise it's not necessary. Here we need to get the last transform first. Otherwise it's not necessary to change that, but actually it doesn't matter anyway much. So I think it should be fine if it even does this every time. So in change transform type and also on remove transform, well, we might want to do that on remove transform, and on transform edit we might want to do that. Yeah, I would add this here personally. Now it should work, I think. Yeah, now it works correctly. So you see, that's why we are writing tests. If while implementing a new feature, some other feature broke, we will see this immediately. That's why tests are such a good thing. Okay, I'm looking for the wrong thing. I should have looked up only. Okay, let's see if tests are succeeding. Okay, I think everything is passing it now. So I can move these tickets to done. 24. 32. Both of them now passed. I actually have only one ticket left, but in reality I want to change output significantly, layout. What am I saying? I want to change the layout. Well, maybe not significantly, but at least a little. I want to fix CSS issues here, you see, so that labels are shown properly. I want to maybe add an app bar here before we can actually release it. Maybe also make this responsive, but I'm not sure if people are going to use this on mobile, because this is definitely not a mobile kind of site. Like, this is the site for developers who want to implement some encryption. They probably want to just Google online and compare their result with the result of the app. Okay, let me just save it. With me committed. Basically, I will not burden you with the video of me committing this stuff. So, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more, like the video. Also, comments and questions are appreciated. Thank you.